Hey everyone! Today I'm bringing you a new story, and I also want to thank you for the likes on the stories that came out yesterday. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Let's keep our goal above 60 likes to keep us motivated, okay? With that said, let's get to the video.
Goku was having a training in the Room of Time, in the Temple of Kami-sama, Dende. Since Beerus didn't want to have visitors on his planet because they didn't let him sleep, although the real reason was because the Pezzoraculo had warned him about a very dangerous threat that was about to approach. That's right, Beerus, Mr. Whis, an enemy of which we don't have much information is about to approach, and he intends to end all universes and deities. An entity that we don't even love has no idea how he was born or why he was there, wandering in the universe, causing chaos without mercy. I would like to give you more details, but it's everything I could see in my premonition. Are you sure of what you're saying, Pezzoraculo? It's better that it's not a joke, because if it's like that, it's a very bad taste. It's not a joke, Beerus. I'm 99% sure that this threat will be present very soon. I must warn all the destructive gods, divine angels, and the great king of everything, and his right hand. All of you as deities are in danger of being annihilated by that dark entity. The destructive god, hearing the words of the Pezzoraculo, felt a chill run down his entire back, since who was able to commit such horrible acts, and above all, oppose the great Zeno and the gods? In all my years of life, I had never seen the Pez so nervous, Beerus. We know that he usually fails a lot in his predictions, but what if this time it turns out to be true? Even something inside me is strange, I said, worrying about the possible situation. Whether it's false or not, it's better that we give this news so that everyone is warned. I'm also beginning to feel a bad feeling about this, I would mention Beerus, seriously, while he was heading to the royal palace with Whis to tell him what happened to the Grand Priest and Zeno. While the gods were going to the royal palace, in the darkest and most secluded places of the universes, a gull began to open, as if it had been released by someone or something, emerging an extremely strange being that had never been seen before. Its appearance was totally unknown to the new eras, a terrifying humanoid species that made that only with its presence the place returned uncontrollably. Where am I? It seems that I have awakened from a long sleep, and I'm hungry for power. The subject began to concentrate to feel the energies of the most powerful gods, realizing that several universes had disappeared around the entire multiverse, seeming strange to him since he didn't think that someone could have eliminated them. I see that you're still the one who governs these pathetic universes, Zeno. Although after having returned, I will create my own multiverse where only chaos will exist. I don't know how long it will have been since the last time I saw that dwarf. I want to think that he increased his powers in case he ever returned. I shouldn't trust myself, and I must act with my head. First, I need to satiate this atrocious hunger that I have, and for that, I need to annihilate a few gods. Only that could keep me satiated. This subject, who had intentions to end Zeno, felt the presence of one of the destructive gods, being none other than the Kidike, the god of Universe 4, appearing instantly in front of him, taking him by the neck. The destructive god, without understanding who he was, would try to free himself with his powers, but it was too late, since this sinister being would end his life quickly, taking away the energy. The divine angel would try to avenge his disciple, but he would also run with the same misfortune. This isn't enough. I need more energy of the gods to be able to recover my power. It was the macabre words of this subject who would go to visit the other gods. Grand Priest felt the sudden downfall of one of his children, quickly taking out his sacred scythe to see what was happening and verify that maybe it was a wrong feeling on his part. But seeing Universe 4, he found the grotesque scene, dropping his scythe since he couldn't believe the scene. Who was able to do something like that? Beerus and Whis had arrived at the palace and saw the Grand Priest in shock, commenting that they had very important news to give them and that it had to be spread as quickly as possible to the gods and angels. But before anything else, Grand Priest would comment what he had seen, leaving the present cold, since the prophecy of the Pesaraculo turned out to be true. Going with Zeno without losing a single second more. This one, hearing the characteristics said by Beerus, wouldn't want to think that it was that subject, the specter of death, Archon. The news couldn't be expected. The gods and angels took their precautions to avoid one more tragedy after learning of the fateful event of Quitella and her angel. Understanding that it was no joke and they had to leave their laziness and help each other to take care. The angels would try to give hope to their gods, but deep down they had an indescribable terror, since they didn't want to give him the name of the subject, not to make even more fuss, since that name was forbidden to mention it. That is why Zeno gave the order not to reveal his identity without confirming it first. The Death Spectre was planning his next victim after having finished with the god of Universe 4, putting his gaze now on the god of Universe 12, Jiren. The angel Martino was on full alert in case that subject approached to ask for help to his brothers. But Archon was not only strong, but also intelligent. He had reached Universe 12 with total caution and would end first with the angel, leaving the destructive god vulnerable. Jiren raised his powers to the maximum to face the enemy, launching bursts of energy of Hakai to disintegrate him, but wouldn't work on him. His power was beyond his understanding. In a blink, Archon was in front of the god, who was paralyzed by the terror he felt at that moment, feeling for the first time the feeling of danger, being the second victim of Archon. After that, Archon's hunger continued to grow more and more, needing to cover his own needs, not having control. Going for his next victims, but now without waiting. He wanted to end this as soon as possible. Archon had finished with the other gods and angels, Ewin and his angel Awamo, Araki Kukatali. Jerez with his team of warriors would try to face him, but their power was much lower. The god Mule with his robotic suit made the effort to face the enemy, but would end up falling before Archon. Liquier and Cord gave everything for their lives, but Archon, with the powers of the previous gods, had increased to such a point that his abilities wouldn't do him a single scratch. Sidra would also be a victim of the Death Spectre. Brumos would try to talk to the remaining companions, but before doing so, he fell into the hands of Archon, not without first having saved his angel and teacher, Kuz, who would go to the royal palace with his father and the king of everything. There were only 3 life-destroying gods left, being Beerus, Champa, and Beerus, and on the side of the angels was Margarita and Kuz, leaving only 7 deities before Grand Priest and Zeno, knowing that at any moment they could be one of them. "Mr. Champa, what is happening? I can feel like an evil energy is causing destruction in the other universes. Will it be a threat? If you like, I can send me to finish her off, said Caulifla, who was on the planet of the cat god, along with the other Saiyan of Universe 6. For now, they won't leave the planet. It's clear to them there is something very dangerous that is happening, and I don't want anything to happen to them. Despite the fact that at first they were annoying, they have been good people with me, I said, Champa, opening up to the Saiyan, who wouldn't know what to say since I had never told them something like that before. That was very strange. Don't believe it, girls, I said, whispering the Saiyan key. Mr. Champa, don't tell me that we don't know how long we can stay, but if that being, whoever it is, arrives, promise me that you're going to go with the guys to Universe 7. I think that with the help of Goku, they can do something. They can be the last hope. But Mr. Champa, I will stay here to protect him. That is also my job as an angel, I said, Vados, angry with Champa for being ahead of things. The god of Universe 6 would simply stay looking at the sky, since not even he knew if he could protect them from that subject. Bliss and Whis had returned to Universe 7, but they couldn't stay with their arms crossed, making the decision to go to Earth to call Goku and Vegeta, since they were the strongest subjects in their universe. When they arrived, they explained the current situation to what the Saiyan wouldn't think, and was willing to do everything possible to help the gods and Zeno, leaving the Earth to head for the royal palace. While Goku and the others were on their way, Zeno was quite serious on his throne with his arms crossed, since how was it possible that Archon was still alive after so many millennia? You also feel it, right, Grand Priest? That unbalanced power in the universes. How did he survive the attack of that occasion? He should be in the grave. I can feel that grotesque power, Mr. King of Everything. Besides, the chaos is beginning to grow in the universes where the gods and angels are no longer. The best thing will be that you go to a safe place, because if Archon comes here, we won't be able to guarantee his safety, sir. I would like to say that we fight together as in previous times, but seeing the reality of things, Archon has absorbed all the power of our friends and possibly has surpassed our skills. But something inside me says that there is a person who could face him. If he's pure evil, we need someone who is pure-hearted, and we both know who that subject is. At that moment, the Saiyan arrived accompanied by the deities of Universe 7, approaching Zeno and Grand Priest. With that enemy turned out to be very powerful, but because they didn't speak to us, little Zeno, maybe we could have avoided all those annihilations of the gods and angels, would mention the Saiyan, squeezing his fists of impotence. Not even if we fight all together we could beat Goku. It's possible that they don't know who is the subject we are facing, but that subject is Archon, the Spectre of Death. The Spectre of Death? What a ridiculous name, Vegeta said with his arms crossed, while he put on a bad-humored face. Archon, do you hear me well, Mr. Grand Priest? That name is forbidden to say. Since I'm a destroyer god, they told me the superficial story about that guy, but it's assumed that he had been exterminated for a long time. Tell me it's a lie, I said, Beerus, finally finding out about the subject they were going to face, beginning to tremble completely, when Goku would notice this, assuming that he was someone very powerful, since he had never seen a destroyer god in that state before. We regret having hidden the name from you, Beerus, but we thought that if they knew it, a chaos took place in your universes. But we possibly made a mistake, since if they had known, we could have planned something different, getting angry at the Grand Priest, since he had lost many of his children and fellow destroyer gods.
For now, there are no moments of lament, Grand Priest. I know it may sound cold, but we must focus on the boys that we have left and make all our effort. But I need someone's help, and that's you, Goku. I need you to come with me to give you the last letter I have left, and you can defeat that moron. You're the only hope we have. But Sen-chan, if neither the gods nor you believe that you can defeat him, how do you think I could do anything to him? If my powers aren't even compared to Beerus, I don't think I can face a guy with such skills. Don't worry about that, Goku. With your skills and especially your spirit, I trust you can face him. In what the boys agreed on, Archon was annihilating hundreds and hundreds of planets around the universes, but those victims weren't enough to control his hunger of power, looking for the last gods and angels before leaving for Sen Osama, since when he finished his hunger with him, he could be at peace and had the opportunity to rule all the universes at his complete mercy, raising his power, feeling in all the universes. The most powerful warriors trembled as if they were little children, since they had never felt that pressure before. There is no doubt that key belongs to that moron. We must be alert wherever he goes, if he will come here or will continue to eat the planets. Champa, along with Vados, was alert to feel that enormous pressure in his whole universe, preparing for the fight, when in that, the planet of the destructive god trembled and the sky would darken, having arrived to continue with his hunt for gods. It's a beautiful planet, and I see that there are many strong energies here. It will be quite a delicious appetizer before finishing the dwarf of Sen Osama, I said, Archon, but Champa wouldn't be able to see his face because of a smoke curtain that covered him completely. If you want to finish with my friends and the king of everything, you'll have to go over my corpse, you understand, damn it? Getting in a fighting pose, Champa, raising his powers to the maximum. Champa's ki rose to maximum. Don't tell me that guy is with my brother. I have to go help him, if not that damned guy will end him, leaving at full speed Beerus to help the only family he had left. Well, if you want to fight, give me your best blow, kitty. Champa launched at full speed against Archon, who was waiting for him immobile to check how strong he was.
You're going to run the same destination as your friends, the god's damn kitten, Archon would mention, taking him by the neck in an instant where neither Champa saw the movements of the enemy. We have to help, Mr. Champa. We can't stay without doing anything. Transforming into Super Saiyan 2, doing the same as Abe and Kale, who would go in the help of the destructive god. But before the same energy of Archon arrived, he created a barrier that wouldn't let them pass, throwing all kinds of powers to cross said barrier, but nothing would work. Vados would join the boys to launch skills, since he didn't want to lose Champa in front of his eyes, since he was a very good person. I won't allow you to suffer an accident, Mr. Champa. First I leave before you, would scream the angel, throwing super energy spheres towards Archon. Grand Priest had put his binoculars to see what was happening in Universe 6, realizing that Champa was fighting against Archon, but it was only a matter of time for the end to come to him and the boys who were there. Champa already started his fight against that bastard, but he warns me that Mr. Wills went without thinking and without anyone's help. We have to stop him to help us in a later fight. I will have to go for him. One moment, Father. You stay and teach Goku some technique to be able to defeat Archon. I will go for Mr. Wills.
I would mention Whisario, while he was going to Universe 6 at the speed of light to help his friend and student. I will also go to help Mr. Wills and Mr. Whis, preparing Goku to do the teleportation, but it was stopped by Zeno, since he had to give something very important and special to the low-class Saiyan. Grand Priest, I need you to gather Beerus with his best warriors to come and protect the royal palace in case that bastard comes here. Whatever happens, you will be in charge of everything. You know what I'm going to do in the special room. I will give my power to Goku, was the words that the King of Everything said, entering the palace with his best friend. The angel Kush, in favor of his father, would go to the universe where Beerus was, to tell him to go to the royal palace and that the strongest warriors came, which in this case was Jiren and Topo, going quickly where the others were. Beerus, Jiren, Topo, and Margarita would all be in the royal palace, being received by Grand Priest, who explained that they had to protect the entrance at all costs, since Zeno was busy using his last letter to end Archon once and for all. I know I'm putting your lives at risk, guys, but I won't leave you alone at any time. I will also stay to fight here for Zeno and the fate of the universes. Many of ours have fallen into the hands of that tyrant. All we can do is trust our Lord and the Saiyan Goku. That's why I ask you this huge favor. I said the Grand Priest on his knees before the present. Don't behave that way, Mr. Grand Priest. I know that I have had differences with many of my companions and also with Goku, but this goes beyond all those scuffles. You can count on me, and I hope that my boys also join the fight. I also plan to fight Mr. Grand Priest. Thanks to Universe 7, I could understand that not everything in life is winning. Sometimes you have to sacrifice to achieve a much better achievement. Noting the two members of the troops of pride. We have no problem, Father. We are very grateful to you and to Mr. Zeno. We will fight for the well-being of all of us. That cockroach insect always gets the best things, but what are we going to do to him? This time, he has always been the one in charge of these problems, and he never gives up. For something, he's the most powerful Saiyan, I said Vegeta, recognizing the power of his eternal rival, willing to win all the time that was necessary. Well, if we're all in the same tune, I have no choice but to thank you and give everything of us. We are the last hope of being able to defeat that lunatic. If he manages to defeat all of us, Goku and the King of Everything, it will be the end of the universes as we know them. Meanwhile, Goku was in a room extremely strange for him. Zeno had taken him to a kind of basement below the entire palace, and to access it, he had to use his divine key. Where are we, little Zeno? I can't feel the key of the others, but I can feel a lot of energies in here, as if they were gods, I asked, quite confused, the Saiyan, while he was still perceiving several energies in there. This room is the most important of the entire multiverse. In the universes or planets, there are training rooms, so you may know one in which you have trained previously. But this room has something very important and special, since the people who enter is to join their forces and spirit, all this to create a new warrior. Basically, it works like a fusion. A fusion, but Sen-chan, don't tell me you're thinking of fusing with me. Why don't you do it with Mr. Grand Priest? He's much stronger than me. If you join forces, I'm sure you can beat that guy. For some reason, Grand Priest Goku isn't here. I was analyzing while this whole situation was happening, and Archon is pure evil. He doesn't know anything other than chaos and destruction. The only alternative we have to stop him is with someone who is pure-hearted. That person is you. There is no one else who has that enormous and valuable quality. From the moment I met you, I knew you were someone special, and I think that today fate has chosen you to defeat Archon once and for all. Would mention the King of Everything, quite sure of his speech. Who else could defeat Archon without Goku, the low-class warrior who attained the power of the gods? But Sen-chan, are you sure of what you're doing? Besides, how will our appearance be? Will we return to normality? I have many doubts at this moment. However, before Goku continued asking questions, Seno-sama asked for silence. You don't worry about any of that, my friend. Trust me, everything will be fine. And if not, we hope to have given everything during the fight, until our body no longer responds. While the low-class Saiyan and the King of Everything were about to create the ultimate warrior capable of saving the multiverse, Champa was having complications against Archon. The enemy still had him on his neck, while the key of the destructive god was beginning to fade away as he was losing consciousness. I thought you gave me more fight, kitten. Of all the gods I have exterminated, you have been the weakest. You will be of no use to me to control my enormous hunger for power. Damn it, I thought you were simply a legend of the ancient gods. If you're going to finish me, do it at once. It disgusts me to see your ugly face. I would mention Champa, expecting his end.
Archeon created a sphere of energy with his hand, throwing his destructive fist to finish off Champa. But just at that moment, Beerus had arrived, giving him a super kick that sent him flying. Beerus had come with his powers to the maximum, having been able to pass the enemy's key barrier, saving his brother from a safe ending. Always in trouble, brother. After all, I have to clean up all your mess, would mention Beerus, helping his brother to recover his breath. Quickly joining the Scion of Universe 6, the angel Vados, and Whis, who would also reach the planet. Thank you very much for helping us, Beerus. They arrived at the right time. I didn't expect Archeon to remain alive, since according to my father, he had been exterminated for millions of years. Just thinking about it makes my body tremble completely. The angel Vados, his key is so overwhelming that even our father and the King of Everything have chills with him. We must go to the royal palace, since that will be the final battle. Zeno has a plan, and we have to buy him time. Archeon, annoyed, raised his powers a bit to make way and see who were the subjects who had interrupted him, noticing that they were more deities, getting excited since more powerful subjects had arrived without having to move from that place, being good news for the god of death. Thank you for coming to give me your vital energies to defeat the dwarf of Zeno.
I hope you're strong to stop feeling this horrible hunger that I have had since my return, expelling even more of his new powers, destroying a considerable part of the planet. Gentlemen have to go right now. Not fighting all together, we can do something. They have to go to the royal palace and wait for the king of everything and Goku. They will be the hope of a new dawn for all of us. I will get them time so they can go. Would mention the angel Lewis releasing for the first time his maximum powers, surprising the others, including his sister Vados. Mr. Champa, Beerus, go with the boys and give the news to our father and the boys to give everything they have to finish this damned monster. What are you doing, Vados? You also have to leave this place. If you stay, you will end up being eliminated by the hands of that guy. You already saved Mr. Champa, and I thank you very much, but I'm not going to let my brother go in front of me without doing anything. If this is our end, I would like to share it with my little brother. Thank you, but I'll do this alone, Vados. Quickly go to the royal palace. I'm not going to forget that. I'll finish him even if it costs me my life. Damned insect. A couple of minutes would pass, where Beerus would regain his knowledge, noticing a rather sad face in this one, since he saw Whis there with them, understanding that his friend and teacher had indeed sacrificed his life so that they could escape the monster or Archon. Whis, I suppose you had a good reason to save us and leave your life in the battlefield. I suppose we have to trust our friend Goku, isn't it? The Destructor God was saying in his thoughts, wiping the tears off his face. Brother, I'm sorry I used the button, but if I hadn't pressed it, maybe we wouldn't have been saved. I had liked to have done something for Mr. Whis, but the truth is I was afraid to see that damned monster. There is nothing to worry about, Champa. All we can do is protect Mr. Zeno and Goku. I hope you really have a plan in mind to defeat him. Brother, thank you for always saving me until the last moment. I promise we will do everything possible to avenge all our fallen brothers. Archon won't win this fight, Vados said in his thoughts while looking at the sky, and then put a smile on his face to honor the sacrifice of his brother. We must not waste the time Whis earns us. If we want to honor his death, we must win that bastard to avenge all our fallen friends. Channel all that anger against him. No matter what we have to do, we must not let Archon enter the royal palace, and much less bother the king of everything and Saiyan Goku. What is that plan that Goku has planned to do with the king of everything? Is it a special training? I asked Cauliflower. It's something that has never been seen in all history. Mr. Zeno and Goku are going to merge to create a new warrior. In the multiversal room, only the destructive gods and the king of everything have entered. I don't know how this is going to end, but I trust Mr. Zeno. But Mr. Grand Priest, wouldn't it be a better idea to leave this place than to look for Archon to make him waste time in what Zeno and Goku do in that mega fusion? If we leave here, it's likely that Archon can evade us and get here and end our friends. We will stay in the palace and we will give everything to stop him, no matter how hard it is for us. For my part, it's fine. Here I'm going to wait for that damned insect, For having finished with Mr. Whis, I plan to cut him into pieces. I also think the same as Mr. Vegeta. We will stay in this place and fight with our maximum powers. Many gods and angels were crushed by that monster. We can't let him continue doing what he's doing. What do you want? At least we're going to cause a little damage. I'm not going to let that cretin go unnoticed. Would mention Jiren crossing his arms, expecting everyone to arrive of Archon. Returning with Goku and the king of everything. Well, Goku, we have to start with this before the time wins us and Archon arrives in the palace. We'll end this once and for all. I said no with a fairly serious face, willing to break the rules of merging with a mortal and not a deity. Although to a certain degree I wouldn't know if it would work, but I couldn't tell that to the Saiyan at such a critical moment. Both was surrounded by a curtain of smoke that would later create a very bright white energy sphere, beginning to shake the entire temple by the incredible power that both individuals were emitting. It seems that they have already begun the fusion. Be attentive at all times. I'm sure that Archon will feel that enormous power and will come immediately. At that moment, Archon, who was on a planet ending with the strongest warriors of that place, felt the abrupt increase of power, getting excited, since with that subject he could calm his hunger and later end Zeno and begin his creation of a new multiverse, leaving outer space, expelling his maximum powers, leaving at full speed in the direction of the huge key. The Grand Priest, like the surviving angels, felt the enormous evil of Archon approaching at great speed, telling the boys to raise their powers to the maximum. It was a matter of seconds for the beast to come with them. Vegeta would squeeze his fists and release his maximum powers of Super Saiyan Blue.
The Saiyan, with a loud scream, would transform into Super Saiyan, having a high power as a whole. The troops of Pride would release their divine power, being at a level very similar to the destructive gods, changing the atmosphere of the place for their enormous power. The destructive god Beerus and his companion, the destructive god Beerus, would release their maximum powers, powers contained through hundreds of years, creating an explosion in the place, surprising the boys. Finally, Raishin Khan, along with his daughters, would release their divine powers, shaking the entire planet of Zeno. The power together of all the warriors was so surprising that the people around all the universes felt a great pressure on themselves, getting scared because they thought it was the end of the world. Archon fell like an atomic ray in the palace. His power would collide with that of all the warriors who were willing to sacrifice themselves for a greater good. It didn't matter if their bodies were made into pieces, their spirits continued to fight until eternity. This is our maximum power, Archon. You better be prepared because we will finish you. We won't let you reach Zeno and hurt him. You heard me. I must admit that they have somewhat high power altogether, but do you really think they will be able to do anything to me, Raishin Khan? I remind you that when they locked me up in that disgusting place, there were 6 destructive gods along with their angels who used their maximum powers to stop me. At that time, those gods were the highest level, and they didn't compare at all with these insects of now. In addition to that, at that moment they grabbed me with the low guard. This time, I won't make the same mistake.
As the ancient destructive gods, does it refer to the universes that are needed? I remember once that Whis mentioned that before there were 18 universes instead of 13, with which the real reason was that, and not that Zeno eliminated them by whims. He really is a monster or infernal, Vegeta said in his thoughts. Times change, Archon. The gods, although they don't compare with the ancients, they're not weak either as you believe, and we are going to show you that at this precise moment, throwing all the warriors to eliminate the god of death, who would only be left without doing anything. I wanted to check how strong he had become after having absorbed so much energy, added to the fact that while he was locked up, I was training hard until the day I managed to leave. The first to attack was the Saiyans of Universe 6. The sisters, along with the young warrior, launched energy spheres at full speed to cause him a lot of damage, but Archon, only with his ki, had stopped those spheres of power, throwing them again. The boys covered themselves, but they would cause them a lot of damage, falling to the ground. The troops of Pride with their speed stood in front of him, starting with his deadly attack of Fists of Justice, fully receiving the blows, but Archon wouldn't even mutate. That's all they can do. Don't make me laugh, damn scum. If they want to give a real blow, this is what they have to do, said Archon, surrounding his fists of ki, giving him a burst of blows that neither Jiren nor Toppo were able to read those movements, losing almost the knowledge. Damn, our best warriors are falling as if they were simple flies. I didn't believe that Archon had increased his powers so much, but we promised Zeno that we would do all our effort to stop him. Come on, Grand Priest, that's what you could get. They're just kids wanting to be strong. None of you is a rival for me. Better give up and give me your vital energy. I have important things to do. Don't lower your guard, insect. Beelzebub, Champa, and Beerus would scream, throwing a giant ball of Hakai to exterminate him. Nothing and no one could withstand destructive energy, regardless of the level of fight. That dam could have been very strong, but bear that amount of Hakai is impossible. It seems that it won't be necessary for Zeno to fight, Beerus said, when in that he fell to the ground, passed out. Archon had absorbed the huge amount of power, leaving the angels out of combat quickly, remaining only Grand Priest, Beelzebub, Champa, and Vegeta. I will give them the opportunity to kneel before me again. If you don't want me to take their lives by force, give it to me yourselves. Bastard, you were the one who finished with Whis, and all for wanting to protect us. I won't forgive you. I will never forgive you, would scream Beelzebub, throwing at full speed, hitting him all over the body, while Vegeta began to load a powerful final flash, willing to use all his energy, regardless of the risk. The destructive god was hitting each blow with rage and sadness for remembering again the sacrifice of his friend and mentor. Champa was by his brother's side, fighting together after many years, since if he was defeated by Vadas and the boys of Universe 6, they couldn't see a new dawn. His fists would slowly begin to bleed, since they wanted to end Archon at that moment. They weren't going to let that guy get away with his own, until Archon molested took them by the neck to the brothers, since they were being a molestation without a joke. Why don't they leave me in peace, damn scum? No matter what they do, they will never beat me. Why can't they understand that? Archon would scream, hitting the gods' brothers that left them out of combat. Vegeta at that moment took the opportunity to get behind the enemy, having gathered a huge amount of energy with his famous technique, the Final Flash. This will be your end, damn gold insect, preparing to launch it.
However, Archon had crossed Vegeta's stomach, unable to launch his great attack, losing the transformation. The most powerful flash ever made had been useless. They must stop talking so much and launch their skills quickly. What need do they have to be mentioning their powers? They're pathetic, taking Vegeta to the neck, throwing him to the ground. Boys, don't give up. We haven't yet won the time necessary for Mr. Zeno and Goku. You have to stand up, Grand Priest would scream. But all the warriors had been easily defeated by Archon. Their powers had no comparison. What happens, Grand Priest? Why did you not help your warriors during the fight, showing my skills? I bet you were so afraid of my presence that you froze. But guess what? It's your turn, and no one can help you. The Grand Priest would kneel, since it was true he couldn't help any of his companions in combat when he had promised them that he wouldn't let them die in that fierce battle. But fear embraced him completely, being the weakest warrior in that sense. I couldn't do anything for my friends. I don't deserve to be the Grand Priest if I cannot even help my lord. If you're going to end me, do it once and for all. How quickly you gave up, and I was thinking that you could give me a little fight to start my warm-up. How pathetic you are, Grand Priest.
Wait a moment, 7D. Before you finish him, you have to finish me. You haven't yet defeated me, damn insect. Vegeta said, seriously injured with a smile, standing up again to continue fighting. How stubborn, you're garbage. Die once and for all. Throwing him a sphere of energy to finish Vegeta, the prince would no longer have the strength to repel him or dodge him, remaining standing to wait for the final attack. Kakarot, I wish I had your strength to be able to finish this guy. You're the only one who can exterminate him. You're the #1. Prince Saiyan had stopped just in the direction of Archon's attack. He knew perfectly well that he didn't have the necessary strength to stop that monster. But the pride of the Saiyan race that ran through his veins prevented him from leaving the battlefield. He preferred to die in battle than to flee from it. The attack had directly impacted our Prince Saiyan, creating a great explosion accompanied by a huge curtain of smoke, ceasing to feel Vegeta's ki. Archon would notice this and begin to laugh like a madman, since none of the warriors had been able to make him sweat even if it were a little. I feel so sorry for the warriors of these new generations, how they could fall so low. For so many years, Grand Priest, you and Zeno-sama have no idea how to govern these universes. But you should be grateful, because when he gets your vital energy, the dwarf won't be able to do anything. It's a matter of time that they all gather in the beyond. Although you have finished with our warriors, you're not going to win the battle. You're a being of pure evil who doesn't know forgiveness. You don't have the capacity to be a king as Mr. Zeno-sama is. So if you want to finish with me, do it. Mr. Zeno-sama and the Saiyan Goku will end your sad existence, Grand Priest said with a smile on his face. But while he was expecting the end of his life, just like his fellow gods and their children, the angels, despite not being able to have done more for his king, he felt happy for having done everything that was within his reach. There is no doubt that garbage will always be garbage. Do you think that by your comments you're going to take away my desire to want to be the new king of everything? Nor you, together with your weak friends, could make me a single scratch. The power of Zeno-sama right now is so insignificant for me, and about the other subject is a simple mortal. A Saiyan is like a fly in front of my enormous presence. My ascent is already written. You don't know what awaits you, right, Archon? Fate is written for you. Your ascent, of which you talk so much, is nothing more than a nonsense that you created yourself. We will see each other in hell, God of Death. The god of death and chaos took Grand Priest by the neck to end the old age and be one step further to start his multiverse, where order and justice was forgotten. Archon was closer than ever to being the supreme ruler. While I get to hell, you take care of it for me, you want? Throwing it to the sky, to then start creating an energy sphere to disintegrate the last deity before Zeno-sama. Grand Priest would simply close his eyes to give his life for the well-being of all and each of the universes, hoping that Zeno-sama and Goku will manage to finish Archon. If that happened, he was happy to have given his life. Thank you for everything, Mr. Grand Priest, leaving him some little tears of happiness because the fate of the universe was in the hands of those two subjects, waiting for the final blow of Archon. But at that moment, Archon was completely paralyzed, since he felt an extremely monstrous ki, much greater than his own, not knowing who he could be, since he was sure he had overthrown all the warriors. Of whom this power? I don't think it's of the insects that were here. This power surpasses mine by far, the god of death said in his thoughts, trying to calm down. The atmosphere of the place would change to a quieter one. The presence of that warrior had completely changed the rules of the battle, barely seeing a figure of what seemed to be a person. If you don't want me to finish you, tell me who you are. Are you another snot? In the end, I will destroy all these universes and create my own multiverse. Goku would appear in front of Archon. The physical appearance of the Saiyan was identical to his Ultra Instinct, but with the great difference that his power had nothing to do. Zeno-sama gave him all his power, mixing perfectly with the Saiyan cells, creating a strong bond between the two individuals, causing their powers to increase in a bestial way. Zeno-sama was very excited that the fusion was a success, being aware both individuals that as they obtained power, so easily they could lose, since they wouldn't know how much their new body would endure, being connected both minds in a single body. You're not going to destroy anything while we are here. You heard, bastard? We will be in charge of finishing you. Expelling only Chuki, doing a great damage to Archon, who would barely manage to block the air curtain. Vegeta, who had been supposedly impacted by his attack, was completely recovered of his energies like the other warriors. The definitive Saiyan had cured all his friends with his single presence. I cannot believe the pressure that Kakarot is exerting with Zeno-sama. I never had imagined that a Saiyan could have that huge ki, Vegeta said, impressed as all those present. I think this is more than I and the Great King all expected. Zeno-sama, for some reason, trusted both his best friend Son Goku. I see that it was the best decision he could have made. They are the only ones who can defeat that infernal beast.
We can only wait for the result of this great battle. Come on, I thought it was someone more important than a simple Saiyan. Even if you have increased your powers a bit with Zeno Silly, they won't be able to eliminate me. I already told you that I have important things to do, releasing their maximum powers again, the God of Death. We are not sure of that until we check it out. Using his hyperspeed, the definitive Saiyan giving him a brutal beating that left Archon quite injured, who moved away from the individual because he could not perceive the movements. I won't let you want to humiliate me in front of these insects, launching into the battle the enemy, initiating an exchange of blows at full speed, creating super powerful waves, making the universes tremble with each blow that was exchanged. It seemed that the end of the world was reaching its climax. Will we be reaching the end of the world? I would mention Cauliflower, shocked about what she was witnessing before her eyes.
Archon, after a few minutes, would already have a lot of damage on his body, realizing that in the long run he was going to lose the fight against the imminence of the definitive Saiyan, having in mind to use the technique that he was hiding under the sleeve. How is it possible that my body is receiving so much damage from that fool? It's supposed that I absorbed the energy of the most powerful beings in the multiverse. Why, even so, I'm not able to beat a simple mortal with the power of a mediocre king. I suppose that I have no other alternative but to end all the multiverses once and for all. Goku was seeing that Archon was very serious, as if he was thinking about making a last move, but at the same time he felt that the body was going through a devastating wear and tear as it contained the energy of the little Zeno. We must end this before something bad can happen. They would mention the Saiyan and the Supreme Deity. In a second, Archon had put himself behind Goku, beginning to gather all his energy to make a supernova and end all life existing. The divine mortal saw a little to the future, seeing a misfortune that he couldn't allow, using teleportation, going to an empty part of outer space where there was hardly any microscopic life. What happened? Where is Kakarot? I can't feel his chi and his presence anywhere, Vegeta would mention surprised. I don't know where they went either, but we can only wait. I know they will make it, Grand Priest said to his companions to reassure them there was nothing they could do. I don't know what you did, damn insect, but sleep, Saiyan, don't fight anymore, and give me all your power to be the new king. With this energy, I can stop my atrocious hunger. It will be for a greater good. Starting Archon to take away the energy from Goku quickly, increasing his powers himself. That's what you want, bastard. You want my power. Well, take it, the Saiyan would scream, and Zeno giving him what he always wanted, the definitive power for his ascent. The entire universes trembled abruptly, seeing the rays of energy around their planets, not knowing what was happening. Goku, the definitive Saiyan, was giving him his powers to give them to Archon so that he would fulfill his goal. But Archon began to feel that his body was at the limit, but Goku and Zeno continued to give him more and more power, seeming to have no
end. Wait a moment, damn insect. Stop. My body is already at the maximum. Stop giving me your disgusting damn mortal powers, starting to inflate from so much excess accumulated energy. A super energy ball was enough to see all the universes. A monstrous king was surrounding all the planets, imagining that the end was yet upon them. Mr. Grand Priest believes that this power is from Kakarot and Mr. Zeno, asked the Prince Saiyan. I don't know, Vegeta, but it's a key that gives me a chill all over my body. The fate of the universes depends on you guys. See you. Goku said, making that great energy ball explode, expanding all his ki around all the universes. His energy would bring to life the people annihilated by Archon, seeming strange to him since they were already supposed to be in the beyond. Vegeta, do you feel Goku's ki? I think the explosion that was felt a few moments ago was for him. After a few minutes, a powerful ki was present in the universes, calling the attention of Saiyan's friends. Damn, that insect always knows what he does. That ki is undoubtedly from Kakarot.